Hey partner, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Ted. To a great 2024.
And let's sort of talk about what we did last year. I think a lot of stuff happened here.
You first.
By the way, you guys all missed one heck of a New Year's Eve party here. We tore it up, and I think we stirred it up pretty good in the community. But next year, plan on coming, guys. But anyway, sort of a recap of some of the things that we did. One of the main things, I think, is we about doubled the number of off-site pickup parties.
Mostly down in Southern California and up in Northern California. That's where really the base of our customers are. And we're still finding new venues every time we go. We've fallen into one or two that we really like, but generally speaking, we change it up every time and try to find something interesting and unique to go to.
And what I like about that is that everybody that I talk to about it goes, no winery does this, but you guys, well, it's really because we like to party too. So that's sort of why that stuff's happening.
3
brother.
pallets of wine and 2 trucks for one weekend's worth of parties.
And another thing we did at Cass is Steve has directed me to go ahead and set up a new crush pad, and we added 4 new tanks.
Big tanks. In
Crush
order to
pad.
grow the wine business, obviously.
Yeah, because you know the goal is we started this winery to be a wine club winery. You guys are very important to us, and it's all about that. Eventually, we won't have to sell wine anywhere else, partner.
Yeah, for years and years we were 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 cases. We're getting close to 10 now, and we're pretty much at maximum capacity. So we got to spend a few bucks to grow that capacity.
And then talk about the vineyard, brother. You've done a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, back in 2008, if any of you remember back, there was a really hard freeze here. Temperatures got down to 8 degrees for like 3 days in a row. Did a lot of damage in the low-lying spots in the vineyard, which is primarily Petit Syrah, Petit Verdot. And those areas have been struggling as we've tried to retrain them. Well, since we basically ran out of enough grapes, enough of Viognier and enough Roussanne for the wine club and for the tasting room, we decided to go ahead and replant those blocks in Viognier and Roussanne. And we also added a grafting. We grafted over 5 acres of Cabernet to a Mourvèdre. The Mourvèdre is 20 years old, and there are some parts of some blocks that are starting to act a little bit tired. But if you have a really healthy trunk and you do a graft even to a new variety, you get incredible growth even in the first year. We've got canes that are like 8 or 9 feet long from just the first year of grafting. So there'll be a small amount of fruit that actually comes off of it this year. The Viognier and the Roussanne were actually replanted, brand new plants, 2 years ago, so we'll have a little bit of crop on them too. So we're trying to not run out of wine so often, and that starts in the vineyard.
You know, and I hate that because we have to stop drinking, for God's sake, to have enough. When my partner came to me, he goes, hey, let's build this event center. And oh my God, I don't. Well, we've like tripled the public events. So as you guys go online, look for these events. We do the beef series dinners, a dine around the world. Of course, the party we had on New Year's Eve. So guys, be looking at what we're doing and come and be part of it because it's fun, a lot of fun.
One other thing that's happening in the vineyard, going back to the far southwest corner down on Lene Road, we've had trouble with that block, and we tested everything for every disease and could not find a thing wrong. The one thing we did find is the boron levels in that section were relatively high, and boron vines are sensitive to boron. So apples love boron. So at the end of 2021, we planted 447 apple trees for the purpose of making hard cider. So last year this 23 was a huge growth year for them. They went from these sticks about as big as your thumb and 3 feet long to 8-foot tall trees. So we're going to have a little bit of fruit next year. So by this time next year, we'll have at least a sampling of the kind of ciders that we think we can make. The reason we're excited about it, when you go to order apples from a nursery, they ask you, do you want eating apples, baking apples, or cider apples? And depending on what you say, you get a totally different list of apples. So we have 27 different kinds of cider making apple trees, and you've never heard of the names of any of these trees before. The apples tend to be a little bit smaller, just like wine grapes are a little bit smaller than eating grapes, and the flavors in some of them are just spectacular. And we'll be able to blend them the same way we blend grapes in order to come up with some really interesting flavor profiles.
And we'll have fun with those blending parties.
Yeah, we can't wait to get going on that project.
And I think you guys have all heard the rumors about there's a swimming pool coming. Well, we finally are in for permits. I'm going to give this man a budget next week, and you're going to swim into a wine bar. And I always like to tell Alice Cass that I'm the lifeguard. And she says, no, 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 you're not. But then the other night she asked me, can you swim? And I go, well, I don't think we have to worry about that. It's going to be a drinking pool, not a swimming pool.
It's only 4 feet
Yeah,
deep.
4 feet deep. I think I can handle that.
So we're going to cut an opening into a container and use that metal that we cut out of the side of the container as an awning over the bar, and then pump water up to the top of that awning so it pours off the front, so you have to go through a waterfall to get inside the bar. And for us guys that don't like to get our hair wet, you'll be able to go in on the side when there's not as
You know,
much
I think
water.
we've been to Mexico too many times. Too many swim up bars, brother.
I'm looking forward to it,
Anyway, a lot of good stuff. Of course, the Backroads wineries have grown, and what's fun about how that, and Steve can tell you probably more, but what I've noticed, a lot of new young blood. There's a lot of new young winemakers out here, and Steve and I are very, very excited about working with them.
But what we've done in the past, we call Taste of the Back Roads, and every winery will bring a food pairing that goes really well with their wine, and they'll go table to table for the 25 wineries or so that are pouring, get a chance to taste what the winemaker thinks is the best combination along with their wine. In order to have all those different wineries pouring under my roof, you have to go to ABC, local authorities, and have to get the a permit to do that. And the one condition of the permit is there has to be a fundraising component for a local charity. So we've been working in recent years with Family Care Network. It's a really nice local organization. Their supporters are so organized. They show up here when the event starts, and we have a bunch of live auction items and silent auction items, and they take care of all of that, and they get all the money for that. What Family Care Network does is try to help families stay together if there's a problem with the parents, whether it be incarceration or substance abuse or anything that would cause the family to be broken up and put in institutions. They throw money and expertise at keeping families together, which is really the best way for children to grow up.
Yes, I agree. And we've done a few events with the Backroads to do that.
Yeah, we just did another one for the very first time where we brought in 14 of the wineries. We got 6 different judges to drink through all the wines and pick out the ones that paired the best with what Chef Charlie did for us. So that night we had a paired winemaker dinner with 6 of the best wines here in the Backroads part of Paso Robles. Came off really well, and we're going to continue to do it every year. It's always going to be the weekend of Thanksgiving when people are tired of turkey and ready to go out and do something. When we first started the Backroads group, it's a marketing alliance basically. In the old day, we used to do a map together, but of course no one uses maps anymore because everybody has a phone. So now we do more online marketing of ourselves. But when we first started, we first opened in 2005, there's only 5 wineries in this neck of the woods, meaning this side of 46, this side of 101. It's up to like 30 now. And a lot of them are, young guys, young women, young couples, in their early 30s, late 20s, coming out of young, successful starting careers that want to get going early in life. I mean, I started the business when I was 50, and that's kind of what a lot of people do. You make a career somewhere and take some of that money and put it in the wine business. It's fun to see these 30-year-olds come out. They're really savvy about social media. It's fun to work with them. It's fun to see their energy. We'll miss the people that retired or sold their businesses, but I love to see all the new blood.
And by the way, we're not going to retire. Okay, we're here to stay. Yeah. And we have a joke that we'll come down in wheelchairs and Brian will write our checks for us.
We'll retire when the wheelchair breaks down. Well, Happy New Year, all.
Yeah, you guys, anyway, a lot of good stuff. Please come and be part of us this year. Happy New Year, partner. Cheers. Happy New Year, guys. Thank you.